everybody? What's up, everybody? Let's talk about it. It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. What up, everybody? Let's talk about it. This is Lovecraft Country, Season 1, Episode 6. All right, okay. They gave us a little throwback in time or whatever. We got a little backstory on Tick and his Korean boo. I think her name is Gia, something like that. I know I'm probably going to say a lot of things wrong in this review. So, just look past that, okay? We all here in love. I'm trying to say the right thing. I want to say the right thing. It just don't come out right all the time. So I don't want to waste no time. This episode was jam-packed. A lot of things going on. It wasn't like, full of action, but we got a lot of backstory. So I don't want to waste any time. Get your stacks together. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. So we start off this episode with a young girl. She's in a movie theater watching a Judy Garland movie. I think she's singing Trolley Song or something like that. I think it's Meet Me in St. Louis that she's watching. She's at a movie theater and she's just dazed by this movie. She's really, engulfed in the movie, and we see a guy and a girl, they kind of couple up and leave. So I don't know if it's one of them kind of theaters where people get together and do their thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. When they leave, sis gets up with a full sailor outfit on and does her little skippity-doo-dah around the theater, honey. She just jumping and skipping and just happy as can be. So we see her getting ready in the morning. She lives in a place called Daegu, Korea. I'm not sure if I'm right. Let me know what the pronunciation is in the comments. I know someone will. She's just getting up in the morning, getting herself ready, and she's helping her family member, or her her mother, get cook. But at first they kind of present it like it's not really her family member. Like at first I thought it was maybe like her auntie or something like that. It wasn't presented like it was her mother at first, but then we find out why their relationship is the way it is a little bit later on. So she's helping her mother make things, and her mother's just really depressed. We come to find out that the family needs money because they're talking about how they're gonna eat for winter, and we can ask the neighbors for food. And so she says, well, when I get my degree, it's gonna bring honor back to this house, because when she says we're gonna ask the neighbors, she was like, girl, we ain't even been invited to the cookout. Basically what she's saying, girl, we ain't been invited to the cookout in a minute since your daddy died. And she's like, well, when I get my degree, we're going to bring honor back to the family. She said, no, what's going to bring some honor to this family is when you start bringing some men up and through here, okay? That's what you need to do, get a man. First, I'm thinking, oh, she wants her to get married, but I was on a whole nother different level than what was actually going on. So we see the young lady, she's in nursing school, and they're learning about the organs and whatnot. And one of her girlfriends, the girls are having a little chit chat, a little girl talk. And they're talking about this young girl over here. She went on a date with such and such. So let's go talk to her about it. They like,
girl, what's the tea, sis? What happened on a date, girl? You had a good time, girl.
And she was like, girl,
he got money, girl. You know what I'm saying? He liked me or whatever.
And like, what did you say to get him to fall in love with you so quick? And she was like, girl, I just said you're beautiful. And then we see Gia mouthing these words at kind of like a speed dating event. You're sexy because of your mind, or whatever she was saying to the dude, and dude X'd out and went on. Then the next dude, she sat down, she quoted a line from the Judy Garland movie, and he was like, girl, I don't know why you up here listening to the tools of your oppressor, girl. Up in here engulfing yourself in the propaganda of the oppressor girl. Okay, you're not woke, sis. He X her out and he move on. And so the next guy, she starts, doing the Judy Garland thing. And he's like, man, I love Judy Garland. And they start talking, everything is real cute. And then like, you think he gonna give her a check, right? Because it's time to couple up. But no, he didn't give her no check. He X'd that ass out too. And I was like, damn, son, that's bad, son. She gets up to leave and her homegirl is like, okay, do you want to come with me? Now I'm gonna say her homegirl, but when they was in the place, she kind of gave her the look like, I'm a little different. I was like, do she? You know what I'm saying? She gonna, you know what I mean? I was like, I think she go this way. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, because she keep rubbing on the girl hand every time something is wrong, even to comfort her, at times when she seems stressed too, to comfort her, but kind of like, girl, you know what I'm saying? Walk this way, sis, if you ever wanted to, but I'm your friend, girl. I love you, but I'm just a little different. It's all good. So she says, basically, like, my mama don't want me out here. My mama want me to do X, Y, and Z. My mama expect me to bring somebody home. She said, girl, everything, you know what I'm saying? Don't be listening to your mama all the time, girl. Let's go. We see her at a bar room, and they're listening to Bésame mucho. It means kiss me a lot. Okay, I love that song. They're at the club, and she got a dress. Now, that dress that she had on, that must be her hoeing dress, because she had that dress on, like, more than one time this episode, so... Gia's sitting at the club with a freakum dress on, and she get a little guy, she do the wink and he do the wink, so I guess that means it's on and popping. I was like, wait a minute, now she running the whole house? Now I'm confused. Now what's going on, Gia? There's a meeting in her takes him back to her bedroom, and baby, she light one candle and all the candles lit up, and I just knew I was watching American Horror Story, but no, it wasn't. So she take off her clothes and she's bucket naked. She lay down on the bed, kind of like they was finna cook a dinner or something. You know what I'm saying? But you know, she take her clothes off, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." And so he climbs on top of her, and then he starts just pumping away, honey. He just pumping, and her eyes are like changing. You know, some things going on with her eyes. And as soon as he climaxes, I'm assuming that like, is it when they climax or in mid pump? I don't know. If something like signals, you know, it's like signal details. The tails start coming out. They coming out her ears. They coming out her eyes. They coming out her nose. They coming out of everywhere, honey. And when they come out her eyes, they connect to his eyes. And then she could see his whole life. He climbed the mountains, honey. He was throwing his baby in the air. She saw his whole life just flash before his eyes, or her eyes, I guess. And you know, and then he explodes into pieces all over the room. So I was like, oh, this is why her mom wants her to bring men home. I see now. Wow. So Umi opens the door and tells her 10 more. I'm like, girl, this too much. This too much. Now, wait a minute. Now, y'all explode people and shit. Like, how is this going to help you? I'm confused. So we see Gia. She's back in the movie theater. She's trying to get her another one on the hook. But as we know, she's all engulfed into the movie. Once again, this time it's a cartoon. And they're chasing somebody black out of town. I just want to make sure that you saw that, because I definitely saw that. Did you do that on purpose, guys? Yeah, you did. So, anywho, they hear some bombing, some noise. There's some commotion going on. Everything is rumbling and shaking. They walk outside and they see that the American troops are rolling into town, and they're throwing little flyers of propaganda and say, hey, there's nothing to fear. America has come here to fight for your freedom. We have come to bring our bullshit right to your yard. Okay, so don't worry about it. We got you. I'm playing, not playing. Now back at the house, mama is cooking and she's making some food, and she like, well, what you making all this food? She was like, girl, it's your birthday. Do you remember? And she was like, oh, I didn't even know. I'm like, how you don't know it's your birthday? Okay, so we already know she a monster, and we know that Uma know, and we know that, so how she don't know it's her birthday? Like, I still was like, okay, I was still like a little bit lost at this point. Like, what's happening? Was anybody lost with me? Because I definitely was lost at this point. One thing I did know that they were absolutely poor, because she couldn't use beef in the stew. She used anchovies in the stew, which are little bitty small fish. So, you know, they don't have no money if they can't afford beef or cow, you know, to put whatever in their seasoning. Gia tells her that she absorbs their souls when she sees them. She sees all of their memories, everything that they've ever gone through in their entire lives. Because she recalls a favorite food of the man that she took his soul or whatever. And so the mom is like, do not ever speak of this man again. And basically, when you become human, you will have memories. Everything will come flooding back to you. So we find out that the mom has summoned her daughter, or put this monster inside of the body of her daughter, apparently, and she got a shaman to do it, and she has to take 100 souls to pay the shaman back, and then her daughter will become human. Okay, we don't even know if she's actually ever going to become a human, or she's just going to be out here taking people's soul and walking around in a soulless body for the rest of her life. She got one more soul to get, so she's telling her, listen, they told me that was going to happen like this. I need you to get one more soul and bring it back home. So just go out there and get a soldier. So down to the hospital, we see people screaming and hollering. It's limbs being brought in there. It's broken bones. And as somebody comes in, the guy is screaming and hollering, and he grabs Gia and he like twists her arm behind her back, and her friend comes in to tranquilize the man right at the, at the right time, because he was about to like snatch her little wrist or break her wrist. And so she's telling her it's going to be okay, like calming her once again, rubbing her hand, telling her that she is going to be okay. Gia sees her talking to an orderly at the hospital. So after, later on that day when they're walking, she asks her, oh, I saw you talking to that guy. Is that your boyfriend? And she was like, girl, he want to be my boyfriend. She was like, well, I seen y'all talking about stuff. Like, what y'all talking about? Like, she asking a whole bunch of damn questions. Like, girl, shut up. Just be quiet. Bitch, why you talking so damn loud? Basically, this is what her friend is like, girl, be quiet, okay? I'm over here, we trying to make some stuff shake, basically. And she tells her, well, girl, I'm different. So, this is when we find out that we know that they're different. And this is definitely a parallel to the LGBTQIA plus family. If you didn't catch that, I definitely caught it. They're different, but they vilified as for me. I'm not really well-versed in the Korean War, so if somebody down there was in the service, or they have somebody in their family and they know a lot about this topic, please add your thoughts. And who is fighting who. I know communists is one part of Korea. I know the other part of Korea. So were they helping the communists, or were the communists actually bad? Like, tell me what's history, okay? I need to know this. Matter of fact, I probably should have looked that up before I got on here. But, you know, I'll put something in the comments, so we'll look this up, okay? And we'll talk about this in the comments. Her friend is basically helping the other side, being a spy. So I guess her and the orderly, they got something going on, and she's telling her, I'm not going to say anything about it, you know, just let me know. And she's like, I'm different, girl, and they're going to vilify us for it. And right at that moment, they're bringing somebody into the town, and they're hanging the person for being a communist right there in the middle of the town with the people just hollering, screaming, and carrying on. Child, people are horrible. Like, human beings are just terrible, okay? We are terrible, baby. And Gia tells her friend that she cannot let fear control her because her mama wants to control her, basically saying that her mother loves her and she's just letting fear control you, and you can't let that control you. I also want to point out that when the guy was getting hung, the American soldiers were standing right there, and they did not do anything to prevent this hanging. They just let it happen right in front of their faces. I was like, wow, this is what we're doing now. I didn't like that. We see Gia at the house, and they're cleaning up from somebody else's soul that she's taken. And so she begins to ask questions about, she says, your husband, my father. So we know that at that moment, if you didn't know that was her mama, that's definitely her mama, even though her mama doesn't have a relationship with her, probably because she's like a monster or whatever. She's not like her actual daughter. So she says, your husband, my father. She knows like his memory. She's seen his whole life or whatever. And she says, well, my husband loved my daughter and the love wasn't right. So that's why basically I had you kill him. So I guess what happened was basically the husband was molesting the daughter. The mom, I don't know if the daughter killed herself or the daughter died. I'm not exactly sure what happened with that situation, but she got the monster put inside of her daughter to get revenge back on the father. So she ended up killing the father, okay? So when they're getting into it, what I liked about this scene is that Gia was giving it to her damn mama. She was giving it to her ass, okay? And I was like, give it to her, because what we not gonna condone is women who allow men to molest kids. And basically she was like, you knew what was going on, because she started singing a song that her mama had taught her. She was like, oh, see what I'm talking about? I taught my daughter that song. She was like, nope. Okay, I know this because I remember from his memories. He sang this song every time he used to, your daughter, okay? R word, your daughter. He handpicked you, a woman who ain't have no social status, had a baby out of wedlock. He knew that he could come up in here and do it, and you would let him do it so that you could move up into society. He was a pariah. And her mama go in the room and close the door, baby. She walked her ass right through that house, back up into that door, read her down to the white meat. I was like, well, sis, I mean, the truth hurt, girl. Okay, you out here trying to conjure people back from the dead, bitch. You need to be apologizing for what you did to use to torture your child more. Don't do that. The next day, we see the nurses going back to work, and we see they brought up to the camp, and they're made to get out of the truck and get on their knees. So apparently, they have dwindled it down to somebody on their staff during their shift is out here giving the communist information. So they got a spy in their group, and they're going to find out who it is. And they just go to shooting people. And then we see Atticus. He comes out from the back, and he shoot one of the nurses. I was like, damn, Atticus is the bad guy, bro. So he comes out from the back, no words, like a straight goon on these niggas, okay? And shoot, bow. I was like, oh my God. Atticus out here killing people, baby. No, baby. No, this cannot be happening, baby. What is going on? What is you doing, baby? Oh no. What is you doing, Atticus? And he go to shoot somebody else, and the girl's like,
it's me. Shit, damn, it's me. Golly, it's me. Don't kill nobody.
And so they drag her away. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to kill his friend. They're going to kill, oh my God, they're going to kill her friend. So I was like, I mean, the bitch is pissed. I would be pissed too. Okay, so she's very upset by this. Obviously traumatized as anyone would be. Now we see it's the fall of 1950. And the theater that she usually goes to is all boarded up and all, you know, written over with lettering and everything. So the war is in full swing. We're in a war-torn area, and we see that in the hospital is the usual chaos is going on. People just hollering, screaming, limbs, burns, and she's tending to a burn man holding his burn down, and she looks across the room, and who does she see but old Atticus? And she recognizes him. She is so angry, honey. It just shot up in her bones. You hear me? And so she ran outside and she had to take a break before she choked the shit out this nigga up in this hospital, okay? Because I know you ain't killed my... Listen. So back at the hospital, the boss tells her to go home. She did a great job. Go ahead and get some rest, girl. It's been a long night. She looks over in Tick's direction and she sees him trying to read a book, but his glasses are broken and he gets very frustrated and he throws the glasses and he starts to cry because he's sad. Next day, she eats breakfast with her mother and she tells her mother that she's found another soul to take. This is going to be the last one for her. So she's going to go ahead and take this soul. Next day, she goes to him and she tries to make nice. So she changes the sheets and, you know, he tries to help her and he's fumbling. He's dropping the cane on the ground. Not the cane, it was some crutches. He was dropping the crutches on the ground and, you know, fumbling around and shit. And then he asks her to read the book to him. And so the book is The Count of Monte Cristo. And so she tells him the rest of the book, but actually she's telling him the movie. And so he kind of gets her in the okie doke like, well, you know, actually, you know, Eleanor and whoever don't actually end up together, but you got to read the rest of the book to see it. I can see how they would think that would make a better movie or whatever. And she kind of like, you know, he gets her on the, you know, touche. But she's still like, nah, I'm cool. Later on, she sees him out in the yard and they chit chat about movies and she talks to his friend and the friend lets us know that he's a foreigner wherever he goes. She asked him if they met Judy Garland and they say, oh, well, the only way I would meet Judy Garland if I was her gardener and he was her, you know, chef or he was her chauffeur. And she was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, in America, you know, we're not respected. The color man is not seen as equal or whatever. And then we have the Asian guy. I think he's Japanese or something like that. Because she was like, you should stay here. They have people that respect you. And he was like, no, where over there I'm this and over here I'm that. I'm always going to be a foreigner no matter where I'm at. So, and she was like, well, why did you sign up to fight? Why are you fighting for a country that don't care about you? And he was like, I didn't sign up for this shit. I got drafted. You need to ask him. Shit, he volunteered. That was cute to me. Once again, they talk about, you know, the books and the movies and how he uses books to escape like she uses movies to kind of escape whatever they're living in reality. And then we see she has kind of warmed to him and now she's reading him the book. And she asked him, why did he pick this book? And he said, well, it was his father's favorite book. And he was like, well, I don't know why he liked it so much. Maybe because it was written by a black man. Okay, that was a hint for y'all, a nugget. I don't have time to look that up because it's almost 12 o'clock at night. But, you know, I know that's a nugget. So, or because it was a story of revenge that after being oppressed, you know, wrongly oppressed for so many years. And he says, then they kind of have shared this commonality they have about their parents. You know, his father is trying to make him into somebody he's not. He tried to beat it into him. And, you know, he's found what his father, well, basically this war has done what his father was trying to do his whole life, which is kind of like turn him into a killer, basically turn him into this hard man or whatever. And so she says the same thing. Her mother is trying to make her into something that she's not. So they share this commonality in this space. And we can see that even though she's upset with what he's done and she still plans on killing him, she kind of is warming to him. She can see his point of view and how this war has changed him as a person. She shares that her best friend said that, you know, they should not let fear shape them. And so he says, oh, I would like to meet your best friend. I was like,
you would, but you killed her though. Like, you don't even, okay.
And she was like, yeah, nigga, now I remember why I was gonna kill your ass, okay? I remember now. So back at the base, you know, she about to go in and go suck his soul out real quick. So she going down there, you know, they catcalling or whatever. So she goes into this dark tent. They kind of set it up like it's gonna be scary. But then we see that Tick was just trying to be romantic. He got a flower, he got his uniform on, he got the movie set up for them to watch a little movie or whatever. It's real cute. So they sit down, even she was like,
damn, I was finna kill you, but you know, it is cute. I ain't gonna lie, it's cute.
They go to, you know, having a good time, watching the movie. About halfway during the movie is over, they go to kissing. If I'm not mistaken, she had her freakum dress on. Okay, that's how you know it's about to go down. So she take him back to the crib and she about to go ahead and just swallow his whole brain and shit. So, you know, they go to kissing or whatever and they get in the bed and he's like, hold on, wait. You know, like, wait a minute. And she's like, what, you know, what's going on? Like, I'm ready to give you this poem. And he was like, girl, I've never done it before, girl. I am brand new. I have never got none before, sis. Okay, I ain't never got no trim. And she was like, what? I got some before, like, we good. Come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. He was like, then he started talking to her about how he has done horrible things, you know. And so I like the fact that Tick is honest. Yes, he was the bad guy, basically, this episode. Like, right, it made me kind of be like, Tick, you violent. I don't, like, you're a little violent for me, okay? I can also see how the war has changed him, how at least he's ready to admit he's done horrible things. He's not a villain, as in, he isn't a horrible person and he likes being horrible. He revels in being horrible. Like, he doesn't. He's done horrible things, and you can see that he has a conscience, right? And so at this moment, he's telling her that I feel like when I'm with you, I could escape all this. I can get away from this, kind of like you bring me away from this. So they go to making love, and I can see that she has some feelings for him, right? And so they go to making love, and it's real cute, and she don't kill him. You know what I'm saying? I think she's trying to resist the temptation of her tentacles coming out. So she's telling him, get up, get out the room right now. He like, what the fuck going on? I like the fact that Tick did not tarry. He did not stand around and ask no whole bunch of questions like, why you want me to leave, girl? What's going on? No, he grabbed his clothes and got the fuck up out of there, okay? Now, in 1950, you better get your ass out of there, okay? So he got up out of there, and Uma came in, and Uma was pissed. And then Gia goes into a diatribe about how she wanted to feel something. And, the mama told her that nobody could ever love her, but Tick loved her. You know what I'm saying? And her friend loved her. So she know that love can be felt. You know what I mean? Mama was like, I don't know how you can deal with somebody who killed your best friend. And she spit on her. I said, girl, spitting on somebody is the most disrespectful thing you can ever do. You spit on me, bitch, we fighting, period. I don't care how many degrees I got. Don't let these degrees fool you. You gonna catch these hands. You spit on me, period. It's done. So the next day, she is down at the base waiting for him. And he comes out and he's like, get out. Go ahead. You need to go away. Go ahead on. Like, y'all get her. And she's like, you killed my best friend. And he's like, what the fuck? He turned around and she's like, you killed my best friend. When y'all was down there doing X, Y, and Z, you pulled my friend out and y'all put on the back of the truck and I know you killed her. He was like, she was a communist sympathizer. And he was following orders, and who knows how many lives he have saved by taking her away that day. And she was like, and who knows how many lives you destroyed by taking her away that day. And basically they go back and forth, and she's talking about the balance. I've done some bad things, you've done some bad things, but by me getting to know you, I have seen that, people, this war can change people, that you're not a bad person, you just did some bad things. He's like, well, why did you want to go out with me? Why did you even go through all of this? And she was like, because I was going to kill you, nigga. I was going to kill you. And I was going to kill you dead. But then I fell in love with you. I kind of like you. I never felt this way before. So, I know that I can change. I know that people can change and be different. I'm paraphrasing, but this is what they're saying to each other, okay? Just because they've done monstrous things, it doesn't make them monsters. Beautiful. And they begin to kiss and hug, and everything is great now, right? It's wonderful. So later on that evening, they go in the projection room and he gonna bust it down. Now, I lie to y'all. Atticus he made up for the pumps because he had a pump and a roll with it, honey. Later on in the episode, he was pumping and roll with it, but this episode, it was his first time. This time right here. So it was about 5 or 6 pumps, versus the 4. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If this was 5 or 6 pumps, then the pumps had went down by the time he had got to Letty. Because she only got 4 or 5 strong pumps. They was mighty. Okay, it was a mighty pump. But it was just like 4 of them. So he had like a good 6 this first time. So I need somebody, let's talk about that, okay? She goes home to her mama. Her mama is ignoring her. And she's like, basically, mama, I know you can't ignore me forever. What I said earlier, you told me that nobody could love me. You told me that nobody would want me. You told me that nobody would care. She just told her a whole bunch of shit about that. And, Atticus loved me. I love myself. God loves me. Okay? And we love each other. I love you. You love me. And we're a happy family, bitch. Okay?
What you talking about? I got me a man now. And mama was like,
You got you a man, but do he know you a monster, bitch? Do he know you is an octopus hole? Do he know? He don't know, girl. When he find out, he ain't gonna want your ass.
I was like, whoop. Guys, winter 1950, and honey, they're living the time of their lives. Just frolicking in the snow, honey, just throwing snow and just jumping on each other's back and just living life, honey, just out here just doing it. I was like, come on and live this life. Come on, love, I see you. She's reading to him in a book about the actual creature that she is, the Kimikono. Y'all know what it was. I'm gonna put it right here in the bottom of the screen. She's telling him about this creature that's going on, and he tells her, listen, I got enough days I can rotate out. I can go home. home. He also says, well, I can stay here. And she's like, well, I can't ask you to stay here for me or whatever. He says, well, why don't you come with me? Because he starts to cry. And she's like, well, it's not some things that you don't know about me. You don't know everything about me. He's like, there's nothing about you that you could tell me that I wouldn't want to be with you. I was like, boy, no. Not this one, fam. She looking at him like, so they go to making love, baby, and then he adds some face in the place. Shout out to Rocks down there. I said, come on, face in the place. He advanced. He on level 3 love making. And this time he gave you a pump and a roll with it. He was stroking. He stroked it to the east. Hey, he stroked it to the west. Baby, he gave her that stroke and a roll, honey. He was, I was like, come on, Jonathan Majors, you better roll it. But baby, she couldn't control it. She had let go and exhaled. See, she was waiting to exhale. So when she exhaled, them tentacles started coming out, bitch. They started wrapping around. By the time she opened her eyes, she was like,
oh shit! She started snatching them.
But they had already connected in the eyes, and she saw the beginning, she saw the middle, she saw the end, honey, she saw the alpha and the omega, okay? She saw this boy whole life, and she started screaming,
Yeah! He's screaming like, what the hell was going on? He grabbing his clothes. She's hollering. He's screaming, and she's just like going through all the memories, and she's seeing things jump through the memories.
Now, let me tell you what they was. We see them going to Chicago. We see him getting whooped when he was a child. We see him with his mother or with a woman. I think that was his mother. And then we see him also getting tortured on some kind of machine, hooked up, plugged up to something. And she screams at him, don't go home. Don't go home. You're going to die if you go home. Don't go home. And he's screaming like, get the fuck with me. Girl, get your ass out of me. Like what anybody would be screaming if that happened to them, right? And so he grabs his clothes, he butt naked child, he runs out. Later on that evening, Uma comes home, and she sees that Gia is not in her room. Gia is in her bedroom, and so she goes in there, and for a moment, she actually is her mama, because Gia is very upset and heartbroken, and she cries about it, and her mama actually comforts her. I said, wow, look at that. Now we're getting a voiceover, and I want to say this voiceover is Judy Garland or somebody of that nature, because she's talking about reading things about herself in the paper, and you know, people wanting to think that she's a certain type of way, and her being a victim and things like this. If somebody could tell me where that came from, that would be great. But I know that was probably a nugget from some interview with a Hollywood star or whatever. So I want to say it's Judy Garland, just because we've been watching Judy Garland this entire episode, but I don't actually know if that's Judy Garland, so don't quote me on it. But we hear a voiceover, and we see that Gia and her mother are going back to the shaman, and they're asking a question about Atticus, and is he gonna die? And so the shaman is like, you came here with 99 souls, bitch, you ain't even paid your tab, and now you coming up here to ask me about something else, sis? I'm gonna need you to pay for this drink first, girl. So she get up there, and you know, the lady start burning some papers asking if Atticus is gonna die. Mom said, I'm gonna pay whatever cost I can for my daughter. So now we see their mom has accepted her as her daughter, because now it's her daughter. I was like, okay, now it's your daughter. That's good. Okay, it's about time. I mean, it took a whole lot, mama, because the mama was mean as hell to her, calling her a monster and shit like the whole episode. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. She brought you back, and now she calling you a monster, girl. Anywho, the lady, I digress. The lady burns the papers, the flickers fly into the air, and she tells her, girl, you're not even in line with the dark spirit yet like you need to be, girl. Like, this is just orientation, okay? It's gonna be thousands of more deaths, many more deaths before you will ever see, you know, anything or whatever. Before your journey is done, you will see countless deaths. She didn't say thousands, she said countless. That's a lot of damn dead people. And that was how the episode went off. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was kind of confused during this episode, because the young actress, she was very, very good, but she was giving me looks, she was giving me glances. She was giving me, does she care about him? Does she not care about him? Is she angry? Is she feeling a feeling for her friend? Is she not feeling that feeling for her friend? Or can she just, her gaydar is on and she just knows that friend is, you know what I mean? Like, I had a lot of looks and glances and things I couldn't really catch, or, you know, were left up into interpretation. But I definitely see how Tick said that he didn't know if it was love. He couldn't figure it out, you know, if it was love or not. Like, it feels like love, but it also feels kind of weird. And then the whole nature of her being a monster and not having like a soul, like that disturbs people. Maybe they're saying she does have a soul, you know what I'm saying? So I would like to know what you guys thought about that. But yeah, I feel like I'm glad I got this part of the story, because I would have questions, and I do feel like maybe she could be pregnant, because he did jump up off of her and run, and I want to say he had busted it, you know, he he had came to, you know, climax, fruition. You feel what I'm saying? Everything had came together at the end. So he might have a baby out here in the world somewhere, because he did say, "Where are you?" at the end of the last episode. So he may have a baby out here. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That could be a possibility. Next week, I see that Ruby gonna be being a showgirl. She's living in her best free life. So, you know, she's gonna take advantage of whatever power has been given to her. I don't know if this is gonna benefit her. And typically for black people, it doesn't end up benefiting us. For anybody really dealing with that kind of dark magic, it doesn't end up benefiting us in the end. So we'll see how that happens with Ruby. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to all my new subscribers and my new viewers. I had a little few backseat directors last week. Listen, we've been doing this a long time on this channel, baby. We are like 200 some videos in. Go ahead and look at the page. It's a lot of videos on there. I appreciate everybody's comments. I appreciate all the information that you bring and put under the video. Thank you guys so much for that. But I definitely don't need anyone to come and tell me. I mean, if you expected me to come to my channel and not for me to be myself, or like if you want a straight No Chaser review, like I said, you can go to GameSpot Universe. I really enjoy their reviews. They sit down and talk about different elements of the episode, and it's really kind of straight no chaser. It's jokes, but it's not like loud like me. If you don't, you know, like me, there's plenty of reviews on here that you can watch, that you can have a very comfortable view of what's going to happen, okay? But for me, you're gonna get loud all of a sudden, because that's just how I am. So like, you know, that's just how I am, you know what I'm saying? So you're just gonna have to like get into that. I don't know what to tell you. I hope that you're here for that, because that's why we're all here. So yeah, I thought this episode was a good episode. I want to hear what you guys thought about it. I know I put my Instagram tag in this video. Sometimes I get on Instagram live and do things, so I want to hear, not live, I get on Instagram and put a lot of things in my story, okay? So I'm still working on the Instagram thing, but follow me on Instagram. I know I put the tag somewhere in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's talk about all the Easter eggs in the comments. Let's talk about everything that you noticed in the comments. Let's talk about your theories in the comments, okay? So, because things are getting hot. Next episode look like it's going to be off the chain with Hippolyta and Diana and everybody coming into this Amazon queen, Ruby coming into her own. Like, I'm excited about this next episode. So I'll see you guys next week. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.